Good morning, it's still morning. Thank you everybody for joining us. I'm Jano Lieber, MTA Chair and CEO, here with the one and only Quamel Arroyo, Chief Accessibility Officer. Round of applause. We've also got from the MTA Lourdes Zapata, who heads our Division of Diversity and Civil Rights. So important that work. Lourdes, thank you for being here. The guys who ran the project, we got a lot of people behind us, but Matt Zedwak and Ed Benite, I want to call out. These guys are rocking and rolling. They're getting all these projects done on time and on budget. And then we have the whole team that has worked on this from many angles back there. But when you have these events, you got to invite the electeds, and we have a couple of electeds here who are amazing supporters of transit. And there's literally nobody else in the New York State Legislature who does more for transit than two of the people here. Senator Brad Hoylman-Siegel and New York State Assemblymember Deborah Glick. Big thanks to you for everything that you do. Also, the Federal Transit Administration is represented. Who's from the FTA here? FTA, all right, got to say a big thank you. Veronica Vanderpool, the administrator of FTA, and somebody you guys haven't heard of who's the U.S. DOT Secretary, Pete Buttigieg. They have also been huge in enabling us to do all of this important work. And last but not least, our friends from the accessibility community, a couple of them are here. They show up at all these because this is life mission, and we bless you and thank you for everything you do all the time. Round of applause for accessibility, everybody. It is always a great day when we get to celebrate and open new elevators, and today we're celebrating completion of a major milestone in the 14th Street complex, this is a mega project. It's going to change accessibility for 30,000 daily riders of the New York City subway system. And part of the challenge that we always face with accessibility is our system is old. These stations have been, the different parts of the station have been around anywhere from 80 to 100 plus years. And so it goes without saying that bringing all this infrastructure into the 21st century is not easy, and it ain't cheap, and it's really complicated from an engineering standpoint. Our subway forebears, who we bless every day for what they did to create this amazing system, but they didn't think about accessibility, and we're still struggling with it. Times have changed, though. This MTA is determined to make our stations, plural, 472 of them, universally accessible, so all New Yorkers can enjoy the benefits of this amazing system. Not just people with disabilities, but parents with strollers, seniors, people who are doing their shopping, because most of the people who live around here don't own automobiles, and a lot of them shop by taking a cart and moving around the subway. We are proving that we are getting accessibility done here at 14th Street. We're opening 3 elevators out of the 9 total. This entire complex, the 14th Street mega complex, will be done by the end of the year. But here we're opening 3 of them on the 6th Avenue L platform and the Uptown F and M platform. And part of the reason we're able to do it, I alluded to it moments ago, is we have great partners in Washington. The feds contributed almost $250 million to this project, about 80% of the total cost. Thank you, Chuck Schumer. Thank you, Hakeem Jeffries. Thank you, the rest of the New York delegation. I wish I could thank the guys who were on television yesterday jawing about congestion pricing. They're in the majority. They're in the majority. But they haven't, I've never heard from them about how they can help the transit system in New York. But Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and most of the New York delegation has really, really stepped up. I'm also proud, really proud to say that the work that's gone on here has gone in large part to minority and women-owned and disadvantaged construction companies. $45 million of this work has gone to what we call MWBEs, minority and women-owned business enterprises. The MTA is #1 in the use of minority and women-owned businesses among all state agencies. We're like triple everybody else. And we do $1 billion a year to minority and women-owned companies. So shout out to Lourdes and the whole Division of Diversity and Civil Rights at the MTA for their work. But the construction and the procurement gets done by a little old outfit called MTA Construction and Development, which I helped found 5 years ago during COVID, when we finally consolidated all these different construction organizations spread around the MTA to have one great organization that specialized in getting big projects done. So now we've got that kind of an organization, and they're doing work much more efficient, much more on time, much more on budget. Remember the L train project? This is the L train. On time, $100 million under budget, and without the shutdown that everyone was planning for. Long Island Railroad third track, on time, again $100 million under budget. The new Penn Station Concourse, which is a couple of subway stops from here, another mega project, on time and on budget. In the last couple of years, the MTA construction and development has become the premier infrastructure development outfit in the region, knocking out work faster and cheaper than ever before. The ADA projects alone are going at 5 times the pace of prior MTAs, 5 times as fast as in the past. We have much more work to do on accessibility, more expansion, resilience, planning for climate change. These are hugely important projects as we develop the next MTA capital program. Y'all in Albany are warming up for another MTA session. We're going to enact our MTA capital program for 2025 to 2029. By law, we have to enact it at the September board meeting of the MTA. Then it goes to the legislature. We are counting on Governor Hochul, who's pledged not only to address the $15 billion that was supposed to come from congestion pricing. That is an issue that remains outstanding. But she also said, and I again take her at her word, that she intends to fully fund the MTA's 25 to 29 capital program. That is huge. But we are counting also on these great partners in Albany, Hoylman Siegel, Assemblymember Glick, and so many others to work with the governor to make it happen, because this region, newsflash, this region just doesn't exist without mass transit, and we are getting it done every day and all day. So with that, let me thank everybody once again for being here to celebrate, and turn it over to Quamel Arroyo, the man, the legend. There you go.
Thank you, Jano. Good morning. I'm excited to be here today to celebrate another opening of this station here in 14th and 6th. 3 elevators we are opening today, making the L train, Uptown, F&M fully accessible. These new elevators are just the first phase of what is an incredibly important mega project for us here at the MTA. This is the only transfer between these 3 different subway lines in Lower Manhattan, and ensuring it is accessible, and we are ensuring that it will be accessible so that all of our customers can utilize this, which it's a top priority for us. As I mentioned, this is just the first of 3 phases for this project. To preview what will come next, later this year, we will be opening 3 more elevators, providing access to the downtown F&M trains, as well as transfers from the platform to the L train. Following that, we will close out the project with the final 3 elevators to make 7th Avenue line accessible, providing an accessible transfer between the 1, 2, 3 to the FM and L train. Before the end of this year, all of that will be completed. So we'll be right back shortly. 14th Street has so much to offer, and this project will unlock so many new destinations and new trips for our customers. As Jano mentioned, C&D continues to deliver these projects on time, on budget, and I particularly want to thank Matt Zatwalk and the project CEO, Ed Benite, for their continued work on the project. None of this would be possible without our federal and state partners. So I too want to thank the FTA and remind our partners in Albany that we are relying on our next capital plan to keep delivering incredibly important accessibility projects like this one. Buenas tardes, buenos días. Para mí es un placer estar aquí con todos ustedes celebrando otra apertura de una nueva estación aquí en la 14 y 6ª Avenida. Para nosotros es un mega proyecto y vamos a tener 9 elevadores totalmente antes del fin de año, haciendo todo ese corredor accesible entre el tren 1, 2, 3, F, M y el L. Hoy abrimos esos 3 elevadores aquí, haciendo el F y el M Uptown, también el L accesible para todo neoyorquino. Accesibilidad es una prioridad para nosotros aquí en la MTA y dependemos de nuestros partners en Washington y en Albany para hacer todo ese trabajo una realidad. Así que muchísimas gracias a la gobernadora, a Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries y a todos los asambleístas y senadores del estado de Nueva York, quienes siguen dándonos el aporte que necesitamos para seguir haciendo ese trabajo. Gracias.
I'm Assemblymember Deborah Glick, and I'm proud to represent this rather busy area. It's the city that never sleeps, and it is also never quiet. This is a great day. I want to thank everyone at the MTA for their commitment to ensuring that all stations will be fully accessible to all New Yorkers. It's not just, as Jano pointed out, people with disabilities now, it's also parents with strollers or people with shopping carts. But let's be clear, we are all just temporarily able-bodied at some point through aging or some accident. All of us may need to be able to access this great system, this incredible system that reaches everywhere, by having accessibility through elevators and the like. So I am very proud to be here. I grew up in a two-fare zone out in Queens. We didn't have a subway. We had to take a bus. And I know the struggles of New Yorkers trying to just every day get to their job, get to a doctor's office. And this is going to make it so much easier for so many people. So I applaud not just all of the leadership, but the folks who are doing the work. Let's hear it for the people who every day in what has been a very hot summer have been here toiling to make certain that this incredible project, this mega project, gets done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm State Senator Brad Hoylman-Siegel, representing the west side of Manhattan from Christopher Street all the way up to West 103rd. Thank you, Chair Lieber. Thank you, Chief Disability Officer Q. Officer Q, I like that. Makes you sound like a super agent. Thank you again to the hard hats and the workers. And mostly thank you to the disability community who pressed this issue and continues to press it time and time again. I'm so thankful that under Chair Lieber's leadership, gone are the battle days where and when folks with disabilities who couldn't access a subway were just the cost of doing business. Because there is a fundamental right to access mass transit, and today we are taking an important step forward in making that right real to all New Yorkers. 472 subway stations, only about 30% of them are currently accessible, but there's hope in that there are 38 active projects to make our stations accessible and 152 in the works. And one of them is reaching fruition right here on 14th Street, where 30,000 New Yorkers exit and enter this mega subway project on a daily basis. So I'm so grateful to everyone here on this amazing opening day. And we see what's been happening here on 14th Street with express buses and making certain that not only do New Yorkers have access, but they can get there quickly. And one side note, I've just come back from Chicago. I had to leave early because my daughter had a knee injury. She's on crutches. We'll be taking this new elevator probably in the next 24 hours. So thank you, Chair Lieber. Really looking forward to more projects online. Thank you so much.
Big thanks to both of our electeds. You've heard from them. These are not, sometime allies. These are everyday allies. And I also want to acknowledge there are a couple of other important electeds who remain in Chicago, who are represented here by their staff. State Senator Brian Kavanaugh and Council members Eric Botcher and Carlina Rivera, all of them big supporters of this work throughout the year. So with that, we turn it over to the one and only Tim Minton for Q&A.
All right, let's turn it over to Evan Simko-Bednarski of New York's own Daily News. Evan.
Good morning, Jano. Good morning, Jenno. Quick question for you. How many projects are left in this particular bundle? And after this bundle for accessibility projects is wrapped up, are you bumping up against funding commitments? Is that a point at which you need to, hopefully...
I'll have to get to the exact numbers, but we've cited the numbers to you. We have multiple projects that are under construction. They continue to be funded. The ones that have, we've had to hit pause on were those where the contracts were not yet awarded. And there are a couple that we were on the verge of awarding, but that's the distinction. I'll give you the exact numbers. But as the state senator said, we have 100+ projects in process. We have how many under construction right now? I think 38 under construction right now. So there's a ton of work going forward. It's the extra projects that we wanted to award contracts for, but we got slowed down when the pause came on congestion pricing.
Of those 152, is there money for some of those that's been committed, or is that sort of outstanding at this point?
Yeah, I mean, again, there's one bundle I believe we'll have to get back to, but there's one bundle I believe that continues to move forward through the procurement process. But there are, as we said, there are 23 stations that were in the current capital program that had to be, like many other projects, put to the back of the line. But we do have, there's design underway. In some cases, there's procurement. We're not completely stopped, but we can't award contracts for money that is uncertain. That's the one thing.
All right, other questions? Mary Lynn, did you have a question? Yeah, Mary Lynn Buckley from 1010 Wins. Mary Lynn.
Hi, Jonna.
Hi.
So for this current project, you said 3 out of the 9 elevators are open. When did construction begin on the other 6, and when do you expect it to be complete? Are they all going to be done by the end of the year?
Yeah, it's a 36-month-long project, and it's going to be completed by the end of this year. So all nine elevators completed by the end of this year. This is the first 3. And here's a news flash. $10 million under the budget. So again, everybody likes to bitch and moan about MTA this, MTA that. This construction operation is setting records for coming in on budget, under budget in many cases, and on schedule. That's the case with this project.
All right, Samantha Liebman is back there from New York 1.
I recognize her from the cheetah print, yes.
Good morning. So I just wanted to get yours and the legislators' reaction to the governor's remarks to Politico this week about congestion pricing, saying that she is considering all options, lowering the price of the tolls possibly, but also citing London starting at £5 20 years ago, not accounting for inflation. I know that has been proposed by you. Mend it, don't end it. But she's saying later in the year or early next year. Is that not soon enough?
Listen, I'm going to let the legislators speak for themselves. I'll tell you what I think, which is I'm glad that the governor continues to focus on, number one, her off-stated commitment to address this issue, to make sure the MTA's capital program, the current one, is fully funded, and to resolve the issue that was created when she paused congestion pricing. That's good news for those of us who are passionate about MTA continuing to invest in improvements. I'm also thrilled that she's talking about the legislative session because, come January, we're going to be dealing with the next capital program, and it's going to be a lot more than $15 billion that needs to be addressed in that capital program. So I want to just acknowledge, while we do have uncertainty related to the continuing pause, to me it's good news that the governor continues to focus on these issues and express her intention to resolve them timely.
The governor was clear that it was a pause, and we tried in the last couple of days to come to some replacement. The time evaporated, but I believe that from the very beginning, the governor understood that the mass transit system here is our circulatory system. It is what keeps New York and the entire region moving. And so I know that she's committed to finding an appropriate replacement, which may be a combination of a slightly lower toll and some additional state commitment. I'm in on ensuring that the MTA has the resources it needs to not just keep this system in good working order, but also to be able to continue to upgrade as it is needed by improving technology and infrastructure. So I'm confident that from the beginning the governor was clear that something was going to have to be done to replace some portion of that, but I'm sure that in the next session we will make certain that the MTA is provided with the resources that are crucial to keeping us in New York moving forward.
And I'd just like to add, I think, well, this is welcome news coming from Chicago, in addition to a lot of other excitement. So I'm firmly in the camp of mend it, don't end it. And I welcome the governor's comments. I think today is an example of why we need congestion pricing. There are 23 projects for accessibility, just like this one here on 14th Street, that are on the chopping block if we don't activate congestion pricing. So I think this is an important step forward. I look forward to supporting the MTA capital plan. I look forward to making certain that we get our foot in the door with congestion pricing. We look at all the factors, and I appreciate the governor doing that, whether it's city workers, folks with disabilities, making certain that New Yorkers don't suffer the sticker shock that they might have otherwise. The governor's thoughtfulness is appreciated, but we need to initiate congestion pricing. We've invested over $500 million in the infrastructure alone, and of course, Assemblymember Glick and I have to grapple with the realities of $16.5 billion that we need to make up if we don't make sure congestion pricing goes online.
All right, thank you, sir. Anybody else? Other reporters? Sam, you're good? Sam, go ahead.
Has the governor approached any legislators about any ideas? I know, maybe she's floated this idea of a lower toll, but has she gone to anyone and said anything?
Honestly, I just don't think we're prepared to talk about negotiations, private conversations that are underway. But I think you've heard from all of us about the importance of getting a timely resolution so that projects like this can proceed. That's, I think, where our heads are at right now.
All right, thanks everybody. Thank you very much. For the people in all the newsrooms watching, we're going to have a ceremonial first ride on the elevator now, and then we're going to feed you a B-roll package, a recorded B-roll package on the live stream.
One photo with everybody?
Yeah, of course. We're going to have a group photo. Where's Ray? Ray will get your group photo, and then we'll do the ceremonial first ride, and then we're going to feed you B-roll back in the newsrooms, B-roll package that was previously recorded. Thank you.
You want it by the elevator?
Yeah, this is good.
This looks like the elevator.
Here we go.
Ray, make sure that we get the elevator in the background.
I got you.
What? I built it. I don't trust it. That's why.